Welcome to LogTag Online, short introduction video. This video will be talking about locations. From the dashboard tab, we can click through to the locations selection on the bottom of the screen. The locations window has a few different elements. We have the areas. So areas are a way to group locations within your team. So in this team, we have the Clinic Albany, which is the overall team name, Clinic Albany, shown at the top. And we have a number of areas within that team, a surgery and a nurse's office. Areas allow permissions to be given to users and to locations, or our temperature monitoring zones, so that only users who have been assigned within that area can see those temperature data. So you can restrict access to a specific fridge, freezer, or location by placing that within an area. We can click through and add a new location in the top right and create a new location that we can then monitor. There is archive or deleted locations. So if the location was deleted or was missing, it could be in the archive, and we can unarchive from within there. We can use the restore button to bring that back, and then that'll ask us to restore the kitchen fridge, and that'll come back into the top of our team kitchen fridge. We can also edit and inspect locations from within the location zone, and the location quick tile gives us color coding. If it is in an alarm or error state, it will have a red background versus, I think we actually all are in alarm states, versus a green tile saying that there is no issue with that location. And we have the name, the location status, and so either no logger attached here or an alarm detected, and the temperature. So if we click through inspect, we come up with our inspection log panel. So this location had no logger attached. If I click through to one that we have some data for, we'll see we have a few data points on our inspection log. So the inspection tab, the first tab that we have is a calendar or chart view showing a morning and afternoon inspection. Temperature, so we have our temperature in the morning and our temperature in the afternoon. And then if we look on the right hand panel, we have our minimum and our maximum temperature. So you can see that we have no inspections recorded here. That's because even though we were monitoring during that time, the user did not press the mark button on the logger or perform a remote inspection. The other element on this panel is the troubleshooting records. A troubleshooting record is if there's an alarm or a temperature excursion, they can be asked to fill in a troubleshooting record. The troubleshooting record has a number of details. They can fill in the room temperature. The room temperature must be just the temperature, not with any units attached. We can add a description to the event, whether there was why it occurred, add any actions taken to resolve the temperature excursion, and finally what the results were. What happened? Was the fridge decommissioned? Was the product still valid? And then we can email that to that report to a number of different coordinators who are attached to that team. There are minimum field lengths as well, so you have to have at least have a few points to say about each different category to prevent very short or very brief systems comments being put in place. The other elements are that we show the date and time on the top left of that excursion. That's when the first out of range temperature occurred, with the discovered temperature, and then the minimum and maximum temperature within that event. So once we push the submit button, it would email that report to our primary and secondary coordinators. So we can see in the records panel, we now have that report that we just created. There's also in the location is the inspection as the chart, and we can view our chart. It has our temperature thresholds, the top in red as per analyzer, and the blue lower threshold. We can zoom by clicking and dragging the mouse button, and that will zoom into that part of the chart, and a double tap of the mouse will bring back to the zoomed out. You can see as we scroll across through the point that the current temperature is shown in the top right, that we're viewing in the time of that temperature. There's a quick link to show the last day, last week, or last month. And we can choose the from and to date of that, and also export that chart data to a CSV file. We can also configure each location from the settings tab. We can give the location a name, a description. We can attach a logger, so which LogTag logger are we receiving temperature data from. We can set that up as a fridge or freezer for our reporting, select what area it's part of, and then name the team members responsible for that area. Who is the primary or the main person responsible for that location? Who is the secondary or backup person responsible? And are there any emergency contacts? So who else should be notified of any events? We can select what events would be notified from that location, whether there's a temperature alarm detected, and whether they are notified via email and SMS text message. And we can select who would be notified. Both the primary and secondary coordinator would be notified via email and SMS of an over temperature alarm in this case. We can be notified of a connection timeout, or if we haven't received data from that logger for a period of time, if there's no Wi-Fi, we can again be asked to send an email to the primary coordinator if we haven't received data in 3 hours. And finally, we can have a power notification. So if we lose power to that logger, we can be told of that via email and SMS, and via primary and secondary. And that power notification would give an indication that there was a loss of power to that site or to that circuit that fridge was on. And that concludes the location presentation.